Hello and welcome to the space between ideas. This is Blaine Gates. As you can see, I'm much more tired looking than I was in my video just a few minutes ago. Woo. Okay, so all right, you can see that I've been using ChatGPT quite a bit. I have the ChatGPT 4 model, and now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take a look at what I've been doing. I don't know. Where should we start? I mean, I guess we could go to the very top. So at the beginning, I was thinking like this, like create an environment where you take on different roles in order to look at a document that I want to use here so that I can help build a web application. The assignment of the group of roles is to understand the documentation from their specific role, make improvements, compare improvements, have perspective of each role, and then edit, provide, and update the document below. Roles include lead project manager, scrum master, developers, including logic and graphics designers, testers, and architect, business analyst. Do you understand the task and which roles you need to create? I mean, because the thing is, I don't really understand. I mean, like, in my coaching process, I've worked with people from all different companies all over the world in all different levels of management. And so like I know the words and I have some basic understanding of what people do. And then I provide models so that they can work within those roles. But it's not necessarily important for me to actually understand the details, which means what? Which means I've like used Tom's book, Create Crucial Insight, to fine tune myself with the ability to understand enough of a process, enough of a business, enough of a company to be able to go to have a conversation, to start something. And now with the advent of these AI tools, then I have enough information. It can do the specifics for me. So I said, yeah, I can do that. Now, I tried to send like the whole document because I've been working on the document for a while. And I've been through this little process before to some extent. And so I kind of wanted to optimize this process and I wanted to change the text in the documentation because my words in the documentation, like they may not be optimized for this type of environment. So what did I do? Okay, you can send a few hundred words. I added some additional parameters. Okay, so the following includes instructions and content to be used as content in a web application optimized for mobile iPhones. I have access to Python code, HTML code editing tools, terminal on a MacBook One, Microsoft Azure, and Heroku. Please either identify any additional information you're required to provide with me as simple as straightforward detailed steps in code to make the following description of web application provide such the code. So actually, it doesn't actually provide me with the code at the end. So I want you to refer to the following resources. So the GitHub repository, Python, web development documentation and tutorials, and Stack Overflow. All right. So I asked it to go into those areas. Give me the most reliable and widely used examples of code that is being used to successfully create such objects and interaction between objects in a stable software environment. So that didn't really work either because they never actually give me code. Now, so they say, okay, I understand I need to use these sources and then create code in some kind of reliable way and then provide the algorithm for the structure. When you refer to yourself as I, does that include all the roles described above? So yeah, he says, yeah, that includes, so we got it, right? Okay, so next, now from an earlier experience, I know that in order to discuss object-oriented programming, they want to know the main interactions between objects, the required inputs, outputs, conditions under which the interactions occur. So I have worked on this a lot. So we went through this, right? So it talks about, like, I go through and explain, like, what is on all the pages. Now, obviously, you guys know what I'm talking about is this. So, like, this is the MVP, right? And in I've gone through I'm trying to create the documentation in order to give somebody a user experience. So then I upload all the text that I've already worked on so far. And also I give it like some examples of different pieces of it. So here's the summary, the key requirements, the potential next steps. Okay, so I was watching this one YouTube video recently. Now let's see if they cut us off at 5 minutes. We might have to make 2 videos. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, so let's go. Okay, so now did the response meet the assignment? Now, what are we talking about? Did the response meet the assignment? Like, what I'm talking about is like I was watching a YouTube video earlier today, and they were talking about the ability for ChatGPT 4 to be able to reflect on errors that it makes. So, in fact, it doesn't actually quite meet because there's no code here. Anyways, I said, please ask. So then what I do is I said, please ask the roles to provide text that is optimized for the GPT model to understand, which would result in creating prompts and code in a step-by-step process to create a web application. I'm not asking for prompts and code, blah, 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 blah. You can read this on your own. Anyways, the thing is, what I want is, here's the answer. So to optimize the text for GPT model, we can provide a clear and concise explanation of the requirements and desired outcome. Here is a revised version of the text that should work for better AI models. So if these models are supposed to be self-correcting, then I should be able to ask them for like an optimized, like, how do we go through this process? All right, user authentication. So they want me to talk about user authentication, project management, the learning and doing units, the summary page, the export, all of the different things that I'm asking. So, all right, now, below is the optimized text that you can feed into AI models based on your provided instructions. The text is separated into sections for clarity and better understanding. Okay, so they took my explanation, like where I cut and pasted from work that I had done before, as you can see, like way up there, and then they simplified everything, and they took out all of the specific details. And so at this point, I don't know if we're getting closer or further away. So it basically, because it just kind of summarized everything that it said, but it used it for my specific case. So I'm thinking what it means. It can either mean that it didn't quite understand, it can't quite do it, or it could mean that all of the information that I expressed wasn't so important, or maybe it was just too much information. So, anyways, the main point is, all right. So what I did was I cut those two sections. All right. So this is the optimized text that I've received from this process. So create a step-by-step guide and code for building a web application called Performance Booster. The application should have the following features: user authentication, project management, learning and doing units, save. But we didn't get the. Interesting. So you can see I'm just kind of going through this process. There's a couple of things I forgot to enter in. I think it's time for a break. But basically, okay, so it sets up this environment. I would like you to work. I would like to, because it tells me that I need to work with a developer. I would like to work with you, and you will fill the role of a developer that will guide me through the above process and provide me with support for gaining necessary skills. All right, so here we are. So the thing is, I'm almost to 25 questions, and I think that's probably enough work for today. Because when you feel this excited and you're this focused, it's like for me, I can get kind of a little bit too anxious. So I need to go for a walk. I need to eat some fruit, and then probably pick up on this maybe tomorrow. But anyways, so obviously you can see that I did spend some time working with this already. I'm not 100% sure I explained anything very clearly at all. But if any of you guys are looking for prompt creators, apparently that's what I'm optimized to do based on the work I've done with Tom Buchholz, Create Crucial Insight. The entire thing about working with Tom and his book, and then doing all of these interviews over the last 5 years, and talking to hundreds of people in thousands of hours. I mean, most of that work was done in the last 3 years, and now I get this interactive environment. Let's do it. I'm always trying to like finish the line like right at like 10 minutes. I don't know. What do you guys think, man? Like, honestly, this is insane. Uh, I did have this, I did it like, because the thing is, remember I was telling you I made this website, right? And like, so what it was telling me to do before was like, so the guy that I was working with, he's from Poland and he's thinking about marrying this girl. And so like all of these documents, so if we look at the Python code, all this Python code was created by ChatGPT 4. And then the problem was that and also I got the HTML. Now the problem is that when I was doing the troubleshooting, like it looked better than this before. And then I ran out of my questions. So when I went to ChatGPT 4 to 3.5 model, then the 3.5 model just messed everything up. Like it was way better than this. And then I just realized that the guy, he didn't really care about this website. He could probably just date the girl a little longer and come to his own conclusion of whether or not he wants to marry her. So, but anyways, the exercise was just to see if I could actually go through this process. And it like, look, I created all this stuff with the terminal and with all this different kinds of software. So like, I know I can do it. And especially the web application is not that complicated. So I'm sure I can do it. Obviously I have some more ideas about like how to do things and what the software environment should look like. And so right now the main thing is just to like start to build the software environment, follow these prompts, and then see what we can do to make something. So it's crazy.